Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. West Bengal government led by Mamata Banerjee is surrounded by yet another controversy. Remember, just on Monday, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee announced an increase in the monthly allowance for Muslim clerics in the state and balanced it out with an equal increase in the stipend for Hindu priests. The Chief Minister made the announcements while addressing a conference of Imams and muezzins in Kolkata. She went on to say, and I quote, that as long as I am alive and my party is in power, I will be there for everyone. Never think that I've forgotten you. The opposition BJP and even the CPIM in the state looked at this announcement as a bid to communalize voters ahead of the Lok Sabha elections next year. They've levelled the appeasement charge on the TMC government. In 2012, just a year after coming to power in Bengal, Mamata Banerjee had announced that she will pay, or her government will pay 25,000 rupees to Imams and 1,500 to muezzins per month. But in 2013, Kolkata High Court directed the government to stop these stipends immediately as the move violated the constitution. But the Mamata government found a way out. They paid the Waqf board 500 crore rupees through the state funds, in turn to pay to the Imams and the muezzins. Since then, the Imams were receiving 2,500 per month while muezzins were getting 1,000 through the Waqf board. Now that has been hiked by 500 rupees each. Now earlier this year in February, the TMC lost a by-poll in Sagardiki in Murshidabad district to the Congress, indicating a slide in its hold over the Muslim vote bank in a constituency that was considered its stronghold. So the question that arises is, if this move to hike the salary of the Imams is to appease the minority vote bank, or should it just be looked at as plain aid that the government gives to many others? And if this whole concept of the salary to Imams needs to be re-looked at, we'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. First up, let me just break down everything that has been announced by the Mamata Banerjee government, because there are statements that have been made which are extremely crucial. So it's not just the announcement, of course, of 500 rupees increase in the monthly allowance of Muslims and Hindu priests, while of course the government can say we've done it for both sides. So now it is going to be 3,000 rupees to Imams per month, 1,500 to muezzins and 1,500 that the government will pay to Hindu purohits. The government is also saying that they will recognize as many as 700 unaided madrasas in the state. And the West Bengal Chief Minister also said that if Imams want loans, the government will facilitate them up to 5 lakh rupees. So of course, this is where the question will arise, that why are these announcements being made, particularly to cater to one class of priests or the clergy as far as religion is concerned. But salary to Imams has always been a controversial issue, even though it has received the backing of the Supreme Court in the past. It's an interesting history if you look at it. In 1993, the Supreme Court had, of course, given a go-ahead for such a salary, and this is what the CIC, the Chief Information Commission in India, headed by Uday Mohurkar, had said of that matter only recently. They have gone on to say that the SC order in 1993 was a violation of the constitution. The order to remunerate Imams set a very wrong precedent. They've also gone on to say that taxpayers' money is being used to favor a particular religion through these practices. Special religious benefits have led to the birth of Pakistan in the past in our country. Mosque managements should be the one who should take care of Imams and not the Waqf board and in turn the state governments. It amounts to betrayal of Hindus and non-Muslim minorities in the country. But remember, West Bengal government is not alone. There are several other states in the country that do give stipends to Imams. Let me just break down a few of them. So in June 2014, then Congress Karnataka government had announced a salary to Imams. The government pays as much as 3,100 rupees to Imams per month and 2,500 to muezzins. This is in Karnataka. Then in January 2019, the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi had announced a hike in the salaries of Imams. So salaries were raised to as much as 18,000 rupees per month. Then we move on to Telangana. Telangana has also sanctioned 17 crore rupees to pay Imams and muezzins. The KCR government pays the Imams and muezzins 5,000 rupees every month. And in January 2023, it's not just the opposition-ruled states. Remember, even the BJP-led Haryana government announced a hike in the salary that was already being given to Imams. So the Imams are now being given as much as 14 to 16,000 rupees every month. One of the important issues to take care of here is if there is a disparity not just in the amount of money that is given to Muslim clerics and Hindu clerics, but also do all states give a stipend of this nature to Muslim clerics and Hindu clerics? Actually, there is a massive difference in that. Let's see a breakdown of exactly which states give money to which side. So there are as many as 11 states that give money to imams. Delhi, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Punjab, Telangana, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir and West Bengal. But only 4 of them also give, even if a lesser stipend, but a stipend to the clergy or the pundits from the Hindu side. And those are West Bengal, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. So why is it in some states not only are you not giving an equal kind of benefit to other religions, but even if you are giving those benefits, they tend to be much lower than what the imams and the muezzins get. So that brings us to the big question we're asking today on our first debate. Is this imam's salaries a way to appease a minority vote, or can it be looked at as aid, as the Supreme Court mentioned earlier?
ইমামদের জন্য আমি 500 টাকা বাড়ালাম, মুয়াজ্জিনদের জন্যও 500 টাকা বাড়ালাম, আর পুরোহিতদের জন্যও 500 টাকা বাড়ালাম, বা যে কোনো সংখ্যালঘু ছেলে মেয়েরা যদি লোন নিয়ে ব্যবসা করতে চান 5 লক্ষ টাকা গভর্নমেন্ট গ্যারান্টার আপনাদের দেবে।
এইসব করছে লোকসভা নির্বাচনে ভুল বুঝিয়ে চাকরি দিতে পারেনি, শিল্প আনতে পারেনি, সর্বত্র চুরি দুর্নীতি।
Let's go across to the guests joining us. Priyanka Tibrewal is from the BJP, Riju Datta from the TMC. I'm also joined by Desh Ratan Nigam, who's a lawyer and political analyst, leans towards the BJP. And Shahid Ali, president of the United Muslims Front, will be with us in just a bit. Priyanka, I want to understand from you first. It's not just the BJP. I've read that even the left parties have opposed this move by Mamata Banerjee government. But can you please enlist to me, why do you have a problem with this? One, this is not a new move. Only a hike has been given. And that hike is equal to both the Muslim clerics and also to the Hindu pundits. Priyanka, could you hear my question?
Yeah, I could hear you. I could hear you well.
Yes.
See, the issue is not what Mamata Banerjee has said regarding the to the money which they are offering to the clerics, whether it is mostly or the Hindus. The issue is, look, she's saying so. See, in the past, her appeasement is so very visible. But again, if you have just heard what Mamata Banerjee said, she said she would be providing loans to any, people or any young boys and girls coming from minority. Now the question arises, why only minority? Why this favor is being given only to the minorities? Why don't you talk at length for the people of Bengal? The very simple reason which has already been spoken about you is the current elections which were held at the Sagar Dighi and to a bad loss which happened to TMC, and they lost there badly. Now they were counting on all their votes to one particular community. Now here is the issue. They very well understand that the 34% on whom they were counting, or calling them as the Dudhil Guru or the milking cows, have now they refrain from voting for them. That is the reason all this is now coming out. See, she is saying on the one hand that this government has become bankrupt. They do not have money. They do not have money to give to the students. They do not have money to give it to the teachers who are sitting on the streets from, more than 2 years now. But here they have money to offer just before the Lok Sabha elections. Now, where is this money coming from? That is the big question. And why such appeasement?
Okay, on the issue of appeasement.
Because the clarity is in the 34% vote.
On the issue of appeasement, let me bring in Riju Datta. Now, Riju Datta, it is, I think, fair to say that if a BJP government was to give a higher stipend to just Hindu priests and not the Muslim clerics, or as some governments do, just to Hindu priests and not even bother about the others who also, don't survive on a lot of money, then you would also accuse them of communalism or appeasement. Then how is this not appeasement by the West Bengal government?
Shivani, the crux of the matter is Mamata Banerjee is the Chief Minister of Bengal. not chief minister of one particular community. I understand this is something that BJP will find it very difficult to understand because they appease to one particular community. Now, we are having this debate because Mamata Banerjee has increased the dole-out grant of 500 rupees extra to imams as well as purohits. Why we never have debates when Mamata Banerjee is building a Jagannath temple in Puri? Why we never have a debate when Mamata Banerjee gives free land for ISKCON to build a temple? Why don't we ever have a debate when today Mamata Banerjee, all the Durga Puja clubs, the clubs that do the Durga Puja, which is now tagged by the UNESCO as well, we have got a heritage tag, is giving 70,000 per club. Why not? And now let me go down to even further, the brass tacks. Panchayat election, Bengal, Trinamool Congress have got 51% vote share. That means the Hindus also did not vote for BJP, they vote for Trinamool Congress. In Vidhan Sabha, the total vote percentage that Trinamool Congress has got was 48%. The bottom line is we follow the constitution. Mamata Banerjee is the Chief Minister of Bengal. All her social initiatives, from Kanyasri, which is recognized by the UN, to Shobut Shati, to Lokhisri, to everything, is irrespective of religion. I'm saying it on your TV. BJP, Congress, and even CPM Karyakartas take advantage of those schemes. We have never stopped anyone from that.
Okay, but can I just quickly ask you a counter question? I'll give Priyanka an opportunity one more time. Shahid Ali is with us. Yes, Priyanka, you want to say something?
TMC, they are all in the same team. So it's no. Yes, that is what I'm saying. My friend Riju Datta was speaking about the Congress and the TMC and the CPM. Well, they are all the names of one single team. So there's no point speaking about all three parties differently. Now, what he is saying, see what Mamata Banerjee has done for the Hindus, this temple, that temple, you see, you will very much understand from the crux of this matter that even the Hindus temples such as Dakshineshwar and Tarkeshwar are being headed by whom? By Bobby Hakeem. So you can very well understand the appeasement which Mamata Banerjee practices.
No, so what happened? The Constitution of India, I understand it's a tough subject. It is a tough subject for BJP. But the Constitution of India still
did not find a single Hindu to take care of Tarkeshwar temple.
So what, Shivani? What is this kind of...
Okay, let me come in. No, I'll come. One second, I'll just come in. I think there is a fundamental issue, Riju. There's a fundamental issue, Riju, that there is one community, and this is not just in context of imams getting stipends or who's going to be in charge of a particular religious organization or temple. The issue is that one particular minority, because it votes en masse, continues to get catered to disproportionately by various state governments, as has happened in the past and is today. And I'm looking at it as a larger view. Now you said, what's the problem if a Muslim minister looks after a temple? But the problem is that the opposite is never true. The opposite never happens, where you would make a Hindu in charge of the Waqf board, for example. That's the problem.
Shivani, you are one of the reputed journalists of this country. I have just given you numbers. Numbers don't lie. 51% of Bengal voted for TMC.
I'll come to that. I'll come to the voting part separately. But you said, what is the problem? One second. Listen to my point. I'll give you an opportunity. One second, Priyanka. Please, let's not speak over each other. Priyanka, let's not speak over each other.
What you're doing for Bengal.
1 second. Riju, the point you raised was, well, what is the point if Bobby Hakeem is in charge of the temples? My counter to that was, you said, what's the problem? The problem is that no Hindu is allowed to be in charge of the Waqf board. Then it is equitable. Otherwise, it's special treatment.
The issue with the country now is the way from the Prime Minister to the ruling party, the way they have decided the narrative for the entire country, even on your channel.
No, it's not about narrative alone. I asked you a very specific question, Riju. Why are you making it about narrative now? Come on. No. Let's be fair.
The basic debate we are having is anti-constitutional.
Because the Constitution is secular.
Now says, no. The Constitution till this debate that we are having now is that India is a secular country.
Yes.
So as long as somebody is working for the benefit of a particular temple or mosque or whatever, it is irrespective of religion he comes from.
Yeah, but would you make a Hindu in charge of a Waqf board in your state? In fact, by law, it is not mandated for a Hindu to be in charge of the Waqf board. It's the duplicity that someone is talking about, whether the Constitution mandates it or not. But anyway, one second. The fundamental issue we are debating is whether it is good. One second. The fundamental issue we are debating is, can just lower his audio. The fundamental issue we're debating is whether it is the right practice in a country like India, where parties tout that we are secular, to either favor religious clerics from one community by giving them higher stipends or only giving them stipends in the name of minorities. Frankly, the Constitution does not allow you to target benefits in the name of religion. That's also what the Constitution says. But let me bring in our other two guests as well. Shahid Ali is joining us. Shahid Ali, the question that many have asked is, this is the same question that the High Court in Calcutta asked way back in 2013, that the government has no business paying these imams. It should be taken care of by the Waqf boards. The Waqf boards have enormous land control in India. They earn a lot of money by renting those lands as well or other properties. They should be the ones taking care of the imams, who I'm not discounting would need help, but it's not the state government's job.
I fairly concede and make a statement, a bold statement. Please give us our Waqf boards. We will finance budget of India. I am giving that statement. Our Waqf boards properties are encroached upon not only by government but by private individuals as well, peoples of India as well. So the problem is that the government has not allowed us or is not allowing us to run our Waqf boards in the manner which we want, in the manner as per the Constitution, in the manner as our Sikh brothers have been allowed by virtue of Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee Act. Why such an act has not been passed for us?
But there
why
is actually an act for the Waqf
Waqf
boards.
properties have not been? No, Waqf Board Act is there undoubtedly, but Waqf properties are encroached upon not only by the individuals but by the government as well.
Okay.
In Delhi only.
I get your point, but there is a counter to this argument also, where a lot of people
and have been taken over by the government.
Okay, I take your point, but I think there are also many. I'm continuing with you. There are also many charges coming in against various Waqf boards, where Waqf boards are also claiming property because the act is designed in such a way that they can lay a claim and then everybody else is running helter-skelter to prove that claim wrong. But I leave that debate aside, the Waqf board issue that we have discussed on this show very much for many times. But yes, Shahid Ali, please finish your point. Fundamentally, whether it's imams or pundits, the communities should have the strength to take care of them. The governments, if at all they are targeting any stipend, then it should not be different for different religions and certainly not with an eye to attract a vote bank. A lot of these policies seem to be trying to do that.
यही प्रॉब्लम है कि हमको वो ज़कात और खैरात के तौर पर 1 रुपया दे करके हमारे हिंदू भाइयों को और दूसरे भाइयों को ये बताते हैं कि देखिए साहब तमाम ट्रेजरी, तमाम जो एक्सचेकर का पैसा है मुसलमानों के ऊपर खर्च हो रहा है। फैक्ट ये है कि मुसलमानों की जो वक्फ प्रॉपर्टियां हैं, अगर गवर्नमेंट ने जो एक्वायर किए हैं गलत तरीके से, उसमें से सिर्फ 10% हमें दे दीजिए। हम कह रहे हैं हम गवर्नमेंट को पूरे बजट को फाइनेंस कर देंगे। कितनी बड़ी बात हम कह रहे हैं, तो इससे हमारे हिंदू भाई भी खुश होंगे, नौकरियां भी दे देंगे, बेरोजगारी भी मिटा देंगे। हम ये सारी चीज कह रहे हैं। इसीलिए मुझे यहां पर हिंदी में ये बात बोलनी पड़ रही है कि आपने देखिए क्या वो कर रखी है विडंबना कि हमारा सब कुछ खा लिया, हमारा सब कुछ छीन लिया, हमें बिल्कुल बेकार बेरोजगार कर दिया और उसको ऊपर से एहसान ये कि साहब ने देखिए इनको इतने पैसे दे दिए, इतने स्टाइपेंड दे दिए, सब लोगों की नजरों में सब लोग गुस्सा हमसे।
So you are saying, I think what you're touching upon is something that has been discussed in the past, that despite all of these benefits, such a focus on the minority and particularly Muslims in India, what has been the upliftment of the Muslims in India? That question should also be asked, and that is why a lot of Muslims themselves are asking this question. For 70 years, they voted one way or the other in the hope that they will be uplifted. But what have they eventually got? Desh Ratan Nigam, please come in here on the larger legal question. There is a Supreme Court order that said that imams and muezzins should be paid because they stay in the mosque all day and they're devoted to their duty all day. But there is also the Calcutta High Court order in 2013 that said that such stipends from the state government's funds to imams and muezzins is actually unconstitutional. Don't you think we need to relook at this legally as well?
Certainly, if you look at the collections from the government-controlled temples, which runs in about 70,000 crore in India, and what is given back to the temple is just a paltry sum. Even in West Bengal, hundreds of crores of monies collected, revenues collected by the West Bengal government from the temples. And what is given to the Purohits is half of the amount of imams. And tell me, mosques do not pay taxes. They are not under the government control. Dargahs are also not under the government control. Therefore, the entire revenue if you look at the statistics, would be coming out, even to the imams, would be coming out from the temple's revenue. If you look at logically. So that aspect needs to be revisited. And on the face of it, discrimination, 3,000 rupees for imams and 1,500 rupees for the purohits in West Bengal. I mean, this is on the face of it so discriminatory and disparaging also as well. Now the entire issue, the mosque must raise, the amount from the zakat money or whatever to pay their own people, the way the temples are raising money.
Yeah.
Therefore, a lot of people are today campaigning so that
to free Hindu temples from government control.
That also, plus also pay to the temple purohits directly rather than putting it in hundis.
Yeah,
so
which eventually goes to the government, and then a lot of these governments, especially in South India, also don't really cater to the Hindu community. Keep targeting, as some allege, for appeasement of minorities vote bank. So when Shahid Ali, for example, says that let us take care of us ourselves, the idea also should be, Shahid Ali, that you will then also be taxed or contribute to the state treasury the same way Hindu temples do, or free all. It cannot be. This is actually double duplicity, where Hindu temples are under government control, but other religious organizations or bodies are not. But I want to bring in Riju Datta one more time. Riju Datta, how do you explain the disparity in this stipend? On the face of it itself, forget everything else, the reasoning. On the face of it, the imams get more, the purohits get less. Why is that?
See, the muezzins and the purohit get same 1,500 rupees, and the imams only get 3,000 rupees because they are solely dependent on the salary from the Waqf board. But I want to raise a bigger picture here. The President of India, the Honorable President of India, by religion, she is a Hindu. The Prime Minister of India, by religion, he is a Hindu. The Chief Justice of India, by religion, he is a Hindu. 80% of Indian public are Hindus. After that also, if we continue to be on national TV and debating कि Hindu खतरे में है, Hindus are not getting their equal share.
Nobody said that, but I think it's only fair to talk about the fact that temples are in government control. It should not be. But why are you so uneasy about it? Why are you so uneasy about it? The fact that you are so uneasy about these fundamental questions is actually belaying more of your position than others.
I am uneasy about the fact that why is this divisive narrative even
It's not divisive. No, I'm sorry. It is not divisive. As dangerous is majoritarianism in our country, equally dangerous is minoritarianism. Please, let's face that fact. We are talking about a secular country that should treat all religions equally. If you are treating all religions equally, then you shouldn't fear.
If Narendra Modi cannot give equal share to 80% of the Hindu communities of India, then he does not have the right to...
No, we are not talking about Narendra Modi government's policies. Whatever said and done, the center is not giving these doors. Right? We are not talking about the discrimination. If tomorrow there is discrimination on the basis of religion in any central government, we will discuss that too. But this is your state government's policy. Don't push the onus on the central government.
I gave you 20,000 different examples. Why are you not talking about that?
No, I'm not sure it's comparable that so much was done for a temple or temple land when you do take money from temples. You're not doing any charity to Hindus.
The temple we are building in Jagannath temple, we are building in the government of West Bengal is building it.
Yes, but you do get money from Hindu temples, right?
What do you mean? Does ISKCON pay the government of West Bengal money? What is this? No. We gave ISKCON free land.
You get money from temples.
You're not understanding the point of it. Yes, Priyanka, let's give a minute. One second. Let's give equal time to all. Priyanka, a minute to you, please.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to tell you, that, this disparity is clearly, reflecting the kind of mindset they're having. It is not about, 1,000 or 1,500 rupees difference, but it is about the mind thinking, the thinking when the Chief Minister says that on Ram Navami, she's requesting the Hindus that please don't enter the areas of Muslims, because then there can be a riot. Now, this is the difference which we are trying to show.
Because BJP goons are part of the Ram Navami rally.
This divisive politics is always played by her.
Guns and bombs are going to create a riot.
What is talking about the Hindus?
Okay, but Riju, let's focus on the subject. One second. Riju, let's focus on the subject, and I would request you got your time to speak. Let Priyanka say her piece, then I'll come back to you.
So Priyanka, that's what I'm saying, that when a Chief Minister tells... Yes, that when a Chief Minister, she tells during any kind of procession which is going on, that I am requesting the Hindus not to enter those areas. What are those areas? Those areas are very much part of Bengal. And all of us have equal right to enter those areas. So the divisive difference which she is holding in her mind is quite clear.
Can I answer now?
Yes.
Can I answer now? In Bengal, we celebrate Durga Puja, Saraswati Puja, Kali Puja,
No. But that is why the Visarjan is stopped by you.
Christmas,
So please don't
everything.
lie.
There is no rioting, no jhamela. Why on Ram Navami all this jhamela happens? Because BJP sends their
Because you do not allow Visarjan on Durga Puja.
Create a riot-like situation in Bengal for political mileage. Law and order is a state subject. We will not allow BJP to create riots in Bengal.
Okay,
Simple
fair
as
enough.
that.
Law and order is indeed a state subject. You will be held responsible, as was the case during Panchayat elections violence or during Ram Navami violence. But I'm not discussing that. I'm on the fundamental point of these policies. Shahid Ali, I want to come back to you very quickly. I have limited time. Do you think it's time for us as a country to move ahead of, which religion can get what schemes? Because, for example, this is not just about West Bengal. In Telangana, there are schemes targeting minority. Now, fearing that their minority vote has gone to the BRS, the Congress is planning a manifesto full of promises to the Muslims alone. In every state, we see this pattern. Are Muslims going to be continued to be treated as this vote bank only if they get something? Or do you think that time is over?
Prior to that, I would like to say that I request the government of Bengal. I request government of Bengal, please pay to these purohits more than what is being paid or what is being proposed to be paid to imams, so that this disparity which they have been claiming may go. Now the policy of appeasement of majority and policy of appeasement of minority, this should come to an end. Both kind of appeasement should come to an end. The solution is very, very simple. The solution is very, very simple. They have been saying that why the temples' money have been taxed. Absolutely should not be. And likewise, why the Waqf board properties have been taken over by the government should not be. Please give it back to us.
Yeah, fair enough.
And please give the
as
temples
long
back
as
to
they
them.
are legitimately the
So
Waqf
what's the
board's
problem with
properties,
this?
they should remain in the control of the Waqf board. In fact, the Waqf board is a singular such body that exists in India or in the world, not even in Pakistan or any Muslim countries. A board this powerful exists, and there are issues that have been pointed out against the Waqf board itself. And I would be more than happy if actually governments come together and look into this, whether we can bring all religions on par with how much power their organizations have. I have a final minute or so left. Deshratan Nigam, I want to come to you, giving you the final minute. It's time that those who claim to be secular are also judged by the same touchstone that they employ to others. Because if majoritarianism, as I said, is a problem, or appeasing to majority is a problem, appeasing to minority is also a concern. The numbers don't matter. It's the mindset that matters.
See, the fact is we are governed by a constitution. And that's one thing. And secondly, the announcement of the salaries was made in the conference of imams and muezzins, not of purohits. And as an afterthought, 500 rupees was increased for purohits as well. No conference of purohits. Please understand that. Secondly, if you appoint a person who do not believe in idol worship on a temple board to manage temple, how will he? There is no commitment towards them. He does not believe in idol worship, and he is being made as the chairman of the temple boards, the two temples. The BJP spokesperson also mentioned, and other temple boards also. That's highly illegal, unconstitutional as well. Somebody who's professed Islam, this thing is to convert, and which is already there. And
What
if you
an
also know the
idiotic
Waqf
statement. He's not
board,
going there
please,
to
please
be
don't
fair.
interfere. Don't interfere.
What you are talking?
Please,
Mr. Deshratan, please.
And Waqf
Mr.
board
Deshratan,
is
please.
the-
Please take back your words, Mr.
One
Deshratan.
second, can I just come in? I think Mr. Deshratan Nigam, the point is that once you take
He's
the
talking like a
Constitution's
Maoist.
oath, one second, once you take the Constitution's oath, it shouldn't matter what your religion is, but if there are sensitivities of the minority that are catered to, that a Hindu would not be made head of their mosque or the Waqf board, similar sensitivities of the Hindus should also be catered to. That's, I think, a limited point that can be accepted, but beyond that, once you've taken the oath of the Constitution, everyone is equal.
For Mr.
One second, please let him finish. Let's not get into a Sukumaila, please.
Who is the Minister of Waqf Board in India?
Yes, Mr.
Waqf
Deshratan
board,
Nigam, please finish. I have limited time, one by one.
Existence
Mr.
of
Nigam, I have
Waqf-
30 seconds, please.
The existence of Waqf Act is under challenge in Supreme Court. Let's wait for it.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. I do thank all of
So
our
that
guests.
is-
Yes. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I've run out of time. Let's just wait and see how this is received. If this has been done with an eye on the elections, would this reap dividends? And then, would parties who do this kind of targeting of the minority vote have the right to claim that the other parties cannot appease the majority vote either?